it's Sam. So as promised, today I am going to be doing a first impressions and demo of the new Urban Decay Gives Good Face collection. Basically, there's a few different products that they're coming out with, and I'm just trying them all out on my skin as I go. I'm telling you what I think, and then you can see exactly what it looks like, all that good stuff. Very first things are the Urban Decay Naked Skin Shapeshifter. These are a contour color correct highlight palette. These are retailing for $45. They come in two different shades. One is called the, what is it called? Light Medium Shift, which is the one that I used. So this is the packaging, and it basically is a little palette that comes with 4 powder shades. You get 2 contours, a light contour highlight, and then you also have the highlighter. These are all powders. You have a mirror right there, and then you flip it over and you have another mirror, and then you have 5 cream shades. So you have a cream highlight, you have a very light pink tone, then you have a peach kind of salmon color, then you have your, you know, concealer kind of brightening, and then you have your cream contour. So those are all the cream contours. That's the light one. Okay, so here is the powder highlighter, powder highlight, powder kind of grayish contour, and then that nice warm one. They're swatching kind of weird. It's almost like they go on like foundation in a way, which is kind of strange. And then we have the cream highlight, the cream pink, the cream salmon, the cream highlighter, and then the cream contour. So those are all of the shades there. So you can see they're all pigmented. They all go on nicely. You can see like that one is really nicely pigmented. It does a great job of highlighting. Then you also have the medium dark shift. So this one is obviously for deeper skin tones. So you can again have the 4 darker powders. So you have a highlighter, which I actually put on my eyelids. So that's what I'm wearing on my eyelids. And it's this really gorgeous kind of like gold shade. It's beautiful. Really pretty highlight if you were gonna obviously be putting on a deeper skin tone. Then you have your kind of like more banana colored powder, and then you have 2 very kind of rich, deep contour shades. This one has a little bit of red in it, which is nice. And then on the other side, again, you have your mirrors, and then you have all of your 5 cream shades. They have like a dry kind of texture when you put them on. You think they're gonna be really creamy, but they're actually more of a kind of like cream to powder finish. Now we are moving on to the medium dark. So this is the highlight. Oh my gosh, that highlight is the winner out of that palette for sure. It is so beautiful. It is kind of like a pinky gold. It's amazing. Then we have the highlight shade, the contour shades. Those are all really pigmented. They almost go on like a powder foundation, like I was saying. They're really pigmented. The cream highlighters for me are so just kind of like subtle that it's almost like they hardly show. So I'm not super excited about the cream highlighters. Same with these 2 lighter highlighters in the cream contour palette for the shapeshifter, or for the medium dark. They're not super pigmented. I don't know. This one though is really great. That's a really pigmented shade. And then this dark one is actually very pigmented. It's a really, like you barely have to touch it and you get a lot of payoff. The next product we have is the Velvetizer. This retails for $34. This is a mix-in medium powder. You're able to mix it in with your with your foundation to supposedly give it a really airbrushed, matte, flawless finish and bump up the coverage. Or you could use it as a setting powder. I spaced it and totally forgot to mix it in with my foundation. So I used it as a excuse me. So I used it as a setting powder today. It does have a little bit of a yellow tint to it. So I did find that when you apply it underneath your concealer or on top of your concealer, it doesn't. What is in my throat right now? It doesn't. It kind of like basically takes away the fact that you just concealed. Like it was bright and then you put this on and then it kind of just like puts it all one color again. So I don't necessarily know if I would like it for underneath the eyes. But as far as the rest of the face, it did a good job of mattifying and kind of giving a really airbrush kind of flawless effect. And then it has like a little velvet packaging, which is kind of cool. So the powder has that very silky touch. It does have like those pore filling capabilities to where it feels like very kind of like, whoa, you're filling in every single thing that you have, but it is very silky feeling. Next we have a brush. This retails for $39, and this is basically a contour. I actually really liked this brush. The brush on this side was really great for getting into the palette and getting your contour and highlight shades. And then this fan brush does a really great job of highlighting and just kind of taking your highlight up to that extra like whoa Nelly stage that you want. So I do actually like the brush. I would recommend that. And we have the Liquid Aura. I gotta be honest, I didn't see a huge amount of difference with this. I don't know if I didn't add enough. I applied it with my primer and then I also mixed it into my foundation. And it's supposed to basically, it says, make perfecting your complexion a transcendental experience with this illuminating mix in medium. For all over brightening, mix 1 drop with Naked Skin liquid makeup or Naked Skin 1 and done, then apply as usual. Or for even more glowing skin, apply on top of foundation to highlight. So it's basically kind of like this opal glow, and it doesn't have a shimmer. It's not like a highlighter. It's just like they said, it's a brightening. It kind of just gives you this kind of pinky, purpley, opally brightening effect. But at first I didn't notice it when I applied it with my foundation, and I did notice that it kind of took the coverage away a little tiny bit from my foundation. But I do, now that I have my skin, like everything is done, I do notice a little bit of a glow kind of peeking through. And I don't know if it's from this because everything is kind of glowy that I put on, but I can't say it was one of those products that blew me away. I think it is very pretty if you are looking for something very, very subtle, like barely there. But I can't say that I was like, whoa, my makeup is just taken up to the whole next level. Like, it was kind of just like, meh. I feel like honestly it would be really pretty if you mixed it in with a body lotion to put like I'm just gonna put some right now there and we'll just see like what that does, because I feel like, oh wow, that's really pretty. It kind of just gives you a little bit of a purpley pinky glow. So it might just be really fun to just wear on the body. I'm honestly like, these kind of like mix in add-ins, like glowy powder or liquid products, I never actually like them on my face. I just prefer them on my body. So I feel like it would actually be really pretty if you were a little fairer, because on me it kind of looks a little bit extra purple. But it does give you, you can see how it kind of just adds that little bit of a glow. But it definitely is like a purpley pinky tint. So you'll see when I'm applying it, it kind of made my face look extra pink and like red, because I applied it with my primer. So if you have redness already, I wouldn't recommend doing that. Maybe just mix it in with your foundation, but I am seeing a glow overall on my face. And that one retails for $32 and it has like the little dropper. And then last but not least is the, what is this one called? The Naked Skin, the Illuminizer. And basically this is a translucent pressed beauty powder that instantly illuminates. So actually, I did not see a whole bunch of like illuminating as I was applying it. But like I said, once I was done with my makeup, my skin just looks like it's really just kind of like illuminated all over. I did apply this all over my face as a setting powder. I did actually really like this product. It did kind of add a weeny bit of a coverage, but that's what it looks like. So it is translucent. But you can see when you look at the powder, there's tiny little flecks of shimmer. But I was like nervous because I was like, this is gonna be so shimmery and it's gonna enhance all of my texture. And it didn't. So it's not necessarily a glowy powder. It is illuminating. So it doesn't, like, I still looked matte, but I looked glowing from within, if that makes sense. So don't be scared by that, because I feel like it is a little scary when you read it and you're like, dang, what am I gonna look like? Some kind of like unicorn sparkling all over my face. It just gives you a kind of glow, like, oh hi, I'm so healthy and radiant right now. If you are looking for that really glowy, illuminated, just like very healthy, like, oh, I'm so summery and amazing, I definitely would recommend this. I actually do really like it. I'm gonna have to test it out throughout the day and see like how it wears, because I might be really oily. Also, I mixed this in with my foundation and my primer, so I don't know what's gonna happen with oil today. We're gonna have to just play with it. Plus, I used a completely different powder. So I used everything in this collection on my face today, which we're gonna go into the tutorial in a minute, or demo, so you guys can see me applying it. I'm actually really liking how everything turned out. At first, I felt like the highlight was really ashy and kind of like muddy or grayish on me, but as it's settled, it actually looks really pretty. So I think these are the products that kind of, you gotta let them settle for a minute, and then once you have applied the rest of your makeup and then you're finished, you're like, oh, actually I look really good. Also, I used the light medium shift shapeshifter palette. I used the powders to do my eyes today. So basically I did that one in my crease and then that one over the top to kind of define even more. I put the highlight as my brow bone and my inner corner, and then I used the darker shade of the highlight as my lid color. And that's what all I used for my eyes. And I actually really liked it on my eyes. I thought it was a really beautiful palette as far as like contouring your eyes. I think it's amazing. This color right here is really beautiful. Also in the video, I use this one when I'm doing the demo as my contour. When I went and looked in the mirror in real light, it was very, very gray. Like I looked really ashy and it was not a good look compared to my body. So I ended up using this one to kind of warm myself up, and that one was definitely more my color. I would definitely recommend just going straight for this one if you are self-tanned, if you are tan in general, because it is a really good warm contour, and I do actually really like it. I think it's a beautiful powder. It blended out really nicely, and it gave me just a really nice warm contour that blends out with my tan very well. At the end, after the demo, I'm gonna go ahead and give you a recap like I do. I feel like those are helpful. I hope you guys like them that way. Of what I would recommend and what I would maybe like, I'm not super bothered about. But now let's get into the demo. You can see exactly how I apply everything. And then I will kind of check back throughout the day, I think, just because I want to see how that aura wears in my foundation, as well as how the powders do as far as control, because it is illuminating. And I want to make sure that I'm not looking like some kind of like glitter face greaseness, you know, throughout the day. So I'll come back and I'll check out, or I'll check with you how it's wearing. But yes, let's get into the demo. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you find this helpful. Subscribe if you're new, and yeah, leave comments down below how to get rid of foundation out of a brand new dress, because that's what I did. And now it's looking like absolute poop. Where did I put it? Oh, I've lost it. Oh no, there it is. How can you miss it? Do you see that? Right there. Ugh, I shouldn't have even rubbed it in. What was I doing? Okay, so the first thing that I'm gonna do is take the Liquid Aura. This is the Illuminating Mix in Medium, and what I'm actually gonna do is mix this into my primer to give me a glow like underneath. Go ahead and take my Marc Jacobs Invisible Cover Foundation, or Invisible Cover Perfecting Coconut Primer. I'm just gonna do like 2 squirts of primer and then 1 droplet. So it comes out like this. Hold on a minute. It's kind of thick actually. So I'm gonna do 2 little droplets of that. I don't know how much you need to like actually add for it to notice. Okay, so for me, that's kind of just enhanced my redness. If you can see, there is like a bit of a sheen, but I just look really pink now, which might not necessarily be a good look for me, but maybe once the foundation is on, it'll look like prettier. So now that it's settled, it actually looks a little bit better. I kind of just have like a nice kind of opalish glow. It's not super intense though, so don't think like, whoa Nelly. It's not like you're gonna be super shimmery. So I am gonna go ahead and mix a little bit of it into my foundation as well, just because I do wanna kind of see what it looks like in the foundation. 3 pumps of the CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir in the color 742, but because I have a new self-tanner on that's not quite as dark as I usually do, I'm gonna put just a tiny little bit of Estee Lauder into it. This is in the color Tawny, and it kind of, because it's a little bit more yellow, that 742, shoot, I just spilled it on my new freaking dress. That's never coming out. Oh my gosh, this always happens to me. I literally always spill foundation on my clothes. Okay, I'm just gonna put 1 like drop into my foundation, and then I'm just gonna mix everything up. Please leave your tips down below how to get foundation out. I think you guys have mentioned it before, but I can't remember now because I have the world's worst memory. So I see a tiny bit of a glow from that 1 drop. There's definitely a little bit of something going on. Oh, I just lost my earring back. Did you guys see that? Literally, could everything go wrong today? You know what's weird? I almost feel like my foundation isn't going on as full coverage. Oh, I was supposed to mix the Velvetizer in with it. Darn it, I totally forgot. Well, that's annoying. Okay, well, we'll just set with that instead. Now we're gonna go ahead and use the Urban Decay Naked Skin Shapeshifter Palette. This is in the color Light Medium Shift. I think I'm gonna take a little bit of this. This kind of looks yellow though, so I'm gonna have to see. I might have to mix it with the pink. We'll just see. Oh no. I'm okay. I think it's gonna be fine and dandy. I will say this brush is very nice. I'm gonna put a little bit in the center. And then with the other side, I'm gonna go ahead and take the contour color. Ooh, that's a bit dark, a bit grayish. We'll just have to see. Oh my goodness, this looks really, really gray on me. There is like no warmth to this whatsoever. Okay, I'm a little nervous about this contour because it looks really gray on me and that makes me nervous. So, well, that cream seems to be blending out really nicely. So it seems to blend out very nicely, but now let's go on to the darn contour because that is stressing me out just a little. Okay, so it's blending out fine. It was looking a little gray when I first applied it on my skin tone, so that kind of made me a little nervous. Definitely a little gray, I'm not gonna lie. I don't necessarily think this color is the best for my skin tone. However, I feel like there are going to be a lot of people who this will work well for because a lot of people like that kind of like nice cooler toned contour color. It's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just, I mean, I don't like cream contour anyway. It's just not my favorite. I try to put as little creams on my face as possible because I'm so oily. I don't know. I can't say it's anything super exciting. Cream contour for the under eyes though, it didn't do a whole lot of brightening. I mean, I still feel like I look really dark under there. So, and I feel like I look a little gray over here now. I'm not super excited about the cream palette, I gotta be honest. I don't like cream contours anyway, so that could just be me. I don't wanna like say, oh, it's crap, because honestly, I never use cream contour. I am gonna brighten up underneath my eye just a little bit, just because I feel like I didn't get a whole lot of coverage and I feel like I look a little tired under there. It brightened a little bit, but it didn't necessarily cover my darkness. Now we're gonna go ahead and set the face. So this is the Velvetizer. So it kind of looks a little yellowish almost, if you guys can see that. So we're just gonna go ahead and try this bad boy out. Darn it, I really wanted to try it out in my foundation. I'm so irritated with myself. So I feel like it kind of like doesn't really keep the brightness underneath your eyes, which is fine because I always end up using my white powder anyway to go back and like, you know, add brightness. It does seem to be doing a really great job at mattifying and filling in the pores and wrinkles. But again, you see like I have there's no difference in color anymore. Like I just look all one. My eyes look really dark underneath there. So maybe it is better off mixing in with your foundation or keeping it away from the under eye. I am gonna go ahead and use my contour powder, or my whitening powder to brighten up underneath my eyes, just because now I feel like I look so dark and tired under there. So now we're gonna go ahead and use the Naked Skin, the Illuminizer. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put it all over, because it says that you can. I'm hoping it's gonna give me a little bit extra coverage. Okay, so that's really nice. I like this powder. That just kind of added a weeny bit of coverage, but it just looks really like flawless and like almost airbrushed. I don't really see a glow in any way, So now we're gonna go ahead and use the powder palette in that shapeshifter. So I'm gonna go ahead and I think I'm gonna go with, I don't know which one I'm gonna grab. Let's just grab the lighter one first. Okay, so the lighter one is kind of sneaky. It doesn't look as dark as it is actually is on your face. Oh, I just realized there's a lightening powder in this palette for the under eye. So I am gonna try out this kind of lighter powder in here just because I do want to see what kind of coverage it gives. I am a fan of a light under eye, and I do actually feel like this does brighten up quite well. Okay, I am gonna go ahead and bake with the Velvetizer and see what this bad boy does. For highlight, I'm gonna go ahead and take this highlighter shade in the Shapeshifter palette, and we're gonna just test this baby out and see what it does. Okay, so it's pretty icy. It's definitely a cooler toned highlight. Goes into the skin nicely. The color might be a little too icy. It's definitely an intense highlighter though. I mean, it like definitely catches the light nicely. I'm gonna go ahead and take the fan brush and see what the fan brush does. Okay, that definitely amps it up. I mean, it's not like it needs to be amped up because it's definitely an intense highlighter, but that fan brush does amp it up even more. So I've just applied my makeup. It is now, let's take a look, 12:05. So as of now, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you the products that I would recommend getting and the ones that I'm like, meh, you know what I mean? It's not a necessary must-have. So at the moment, I am actually really enjoying this powder. I think this powder is really pretty. The Illuminizer, I think it does give you a nice kind of like glow to your skin without being too shimmery, but it was a nice setting powder. It doesn't look powdery. My skin just looks really nice. So as of right now, I do actually really like this. I'm also really enjoying the Shapeshifter. The contour, no, I'm not into the contours whatsoever. The cream contour, sorry. I don't think the cream contours really did much for my skin tone. As far as like highlighting, it was like, meh, it was okay. And the contour was really gray. Texture of them are nice. They blended out well. So actually the salmon one might actually be really good. As far as the contour, it was just really gray on me, and this one just didn't do a whole lot. I do really enjoy this side of them. I think this did a really great job of highlighting underneath my eye. It also has a great texture. It doesn't look powdery. It was very pigmented. The highlight at first I thought was really gray, and I was like, what is going on? I am not looking cute. But now that I have it on and my makeup's all settled, it's really bright and really intense and like, whoa, catches the light really well. So I'm actually really impressed with this. This color I don't like, but this color I do love. I think this is a gorgeous contour shade. So I actually do like this. It is $45, so I don't know if it's worth buying $45 for just the powder shades for me. However, if you do have some discoloration, if you do like a salmon color, I feel like the texture of it is nice because it's not super creamy. It's kind of like a cream to powder, but not powder, if that makes sense. It's not super sticky. It might be worth it for you, but you're still getting a pretty big size highlight and a really good size contour, and then a highlight contour powder as well. So I still think that the price is worth it. I will just probably never use the cream side. I feel like this powder is not my favorite. I don't like the fact that once you put it underneath your eyes, you've basically canceled out any brightening or highlighting underneath your eyes that you did before. It does a good job of mattifying and making everything look airbrushed, but I feel like for my skin tone, it basically just took away all the work that I did underneath there, and I don't appreciate that. So I would definitely stay away from the eyes with this. I think it might work better for like a deeper skin tone because it does have that yellowish tone. Not my favorite. I wouldn't run out and get it. I do think it did a good job of mattifying and pore filling and airbrushing. I'm kind of just like, I might have to try it again mixed in with my foundation because it is actually a mix in medium. You're supposed to mix it in with your foundation. So I totally messed up and forgot to do that today. So I will probably just have to try this out separately in a foundation and then let you guys know how it works. But as far as just a setting powder, it's good, but I don't like that yellow tone. I think the brush is nice. It's a little pricey, $39. I wouldn't run out and buy it for $39, but I do think it is a good brush. And then as far as the aura, I think it's really pretty. I mean, it does give you a nice glow. It's very subtle. I'm gonna have to see how this wears throughout the day. It's like one of those things where I feel like if you want like a really gentle, soft, kind of purpley opal unicorn glow, it will be good. You could also use it as a liquid highlighter, which I don't normally use liquid highlighters on a normal day, but if I'm like wearing hardly any powder, then I will. I do like it on my bones, on my shoulders. I think that is actually really pretty, but I can't say it's something that I would like not be able to live without. If you want to have a bit of a glow in your foundation, that's nice, but it's not like intensely glowy where you're like, oh, I'm so dewy J-Lo. We'll see you guys in a bit. Like I said, it was 12:05 when I checked in. I did apply it at like probably 11:30. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, so it's 8:34. It has now been on for 9 hours. I'm definitely looking pretty super greasy on my forehead. Like kind of like amazingly greasy, if you guys can tell. I haven't touched up at all today. Man, I look tired. Do you ever have nights where you just feel like you look, I mean, these lights are so bright right now, but I look pretty sleepy. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely very oily on the forehead, so that could be the Aura powder or the Aura liquid that we mixed in with my foundation as well as the primer. It could also be the powders. I don't know which one it is. It's so hard to tell when you're trying all different products. I'm going to assume it's the Aura liquid just because that's a liquid and it could have a little bit more oil in than what I'm used to. But overall, like my makeup has stayed really, really well. So I'm very impressed with the powders as far as keeping everything in place. The highlighter is still looking amazing. Like that has not lost any of its glisten at all. That is still just as bright as it was. My pores still look really good. My foundation has stayed in place very well. And even on my forehead, like it's still looking really nice. Like everything is looking nice. There's no really, I mean, there's a little bit of like around my nose, kind of, you know, it's worn off a little bit and it's kind of gathered, but for the most part, everything looks really, really nice. So I'm gonna say, I feel like the powders definitely did their job. I have a feeling, because when I was applying it, I felt like it made my primer seem just a little bit more moisturizing than usual. So I'm gonna say that this is definitely probably the culprit of the glow. I am definitely glowy, and I did notice before I even got greasy that my skin was just looking super glowy today. So I think as far as like adding a glow to your skin, it definitely does that. I would just, you know, keep your eye out if you are oily. I do believe it's this product that did it, but like I said, I tried 2 different powders as well. And I also did cream contour today, which I never normally do. So I do have extra cream products on my face that I normally don't. So it's really hard for me to be able to say what specific product made me oily today. I mean, I also am using this product here, which did make me a little bit oily, but nothing major. So I can't specifically talk about one thing making me oily or one thing working extra good. In general, I would just say, I mean, all the colors stayed in place. My makeup is all stayed in place really well. I think every single piece did its job like it said it would and like it's supposed to. I feel like my makeup still looks really nice. I really do like the highlight. I just kept on looking in the mirror today thinking, wow, like I look so glowy. So yeah, I'm actually really happy. Like now that I've worn everything and I've used everything and I kind of like was able to play with it a little bit and really like see how it kind of settled into my face, I am very happy. I would say for me, I will never use the cream contour products. I just am not a cream contour fan. You know, it's just not my thing. So I will never use the cream contours, but I definitely would use the powder contours as well as the highlight in the shapeshifters. So I actually do really like this still. I'm still gonna say yes on that. I think I'm still, I mean, although I will say that my foundation looked really good today, so maybe this is really good. I would just maybe stay away from the eye area because I feel like it did kind of take away any brightness, but I think, you know, it did a good job of making my skin look really airbrushed and poreless all day long. I also really liked this setting powder, the Illuminizer. I think that's beautiful. Can't say I will probably reach for this a whole lot. I think this would be something more that I would probably be putting on my like bones, on my shoulder and my collarbones, just to make them pop. I probably would not mix it into my primer again. I would probably just mix it right into my foundation. That's probably how I would use it the most, just because I feel like putting it in with my primer, it really just wasn't necessary. For me, I think the key product is still this and this, because I like that contour powder a lot. And the highlighter is really beautiful. So those are the two products that still are standing out to me. So I hope you guys found this helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Monday. I hope you guys all had an amazing Memorial Day weekend, and I will see you tomorrow. Mwah. Bye.